now that he has the advantage of being the incumbent with the associated benefits, is likely to spend a lot of time trying to disorganize us in the opposition. And each one of us should be wary of that. And that's why the other day I told you, even if he called me today, I believe where I am, I'm safer and I'm comfortable. They say fish rose from the head. These bad manners has been perpetuated by the regime. The moment you start abusing leaders, even those who are around you, they start abusing their opponents. That the president should be able to call his house in order. If auditing was done in every constituency today, Richard, all the members of parliament will be in jail. I'm telling you that.
Already in Shimolatewa, they would be there?
All of them, they will be in jail.
Truly delighted to have you on Richard Mwenje Exclusive, the year of our Lord 2024. It's such an honor to still have you on board, keeping us company throughout the entire month of January. We are still going on strong, and with your support, we'll definitely achieve greater heights with this, which we actually term as public service. What we do here will definitely help you shape your economic decisions and also governance decisions as a leader in this country. I'm Richard Mwenje, son of the soil, and with me today on the conversation is none other than former cabinet minister and a seasoned thought leader in this country, Ruto Arab Kirwa. Always stylish as usual.
I try.
You try?
The alternative is a disaster.
The alternative is a disaster?
Yeah, you have to try all the time. Yeah, to be smart.
Let's begin from matters to do with the trajectory the country is taking, especially economic-wise. And we've seen the Kenyan shilling actually hit the 160 mark against the US dollar.
Yeah.
And looking at a government that has been tainted, the one that will make Kenya the Singapore of Africa, if we look at the exchange rate of the Kenyan shilling against the dollar, are you convinced that we are almost there, becoming that Singapore of Africa, if that's anything to go by?
Well, the shilling will worry me to a certain less extent because if the macroeconomics are right, that trend might be reversed. But if the macroeconomics are wrong, which I suspect they are, that trend might continue, and I fear the shilling may even hit 180 in the next 6 months. Why I say so is that the fundamentals of an economy like this is supposed to be the agriculture sector, the infrastructure, and also the service industry. All those three have been compromised by the fact that we seem not to be handling our visitors well. The second issue is the way we handle taxes. The more the taxes, the more you make people run away from you. For example, there is a company that does steel and mabati. What they have done is that they are downsizing their production in Kenya. They are taking it to the rest of the East African countries and making Kenya the hub for distribution. What does it mean?
Capital flight.
A capital flight from Kenya. And therefore value addition will be done in those countries. We just become a distributor, a network for them. The third issue is not even corruption, because corruption, of course, may be endemic, but corruption is almost sort of a constant throughout any regime in power. But there are certain interventions that should be done so that we do not risk the opportunity of making ourselves attractive to other investors from outside Kenya. Now, the third and the fourth and finally, something that worries me is the human resource component. Kenya in Africa is seen to be one of the best in terms of human resource capacity. Our Kenyans are well trained both in terms of technical fields and even in academia. Nowadays, in every graduation, you hear the guest of honor telling them, go away and look for jobs elsewhere. What are you doing? You are exporting the best of brains from Kenya. You are also losing the capacity of using that person here without putting in place some arrangements to see how do you bring back the money that is in America, the money that is in Australia. This affordable housing could have also been tailored so that you have a package for those who have dollars and euros abroad. So I would have expected some serious economic arrangement to assist those who have money outside there to have their homes done to their specifications and to their tastes and preferences, for them to be able to buy houses here in Kenya without the need to come to Kenya and preside over the house. Sure. How can that be done? All these people come from various destinations. Some come from Kisii, come from Kiambu, Murang'a, Kitale, Mandera, Lodwar, name it. You just need to organize a small arrangement within their vicinity of their home and organize a home. You know, many Kenyans, what they do, Richard, is that I live abroad, I send money to you, you build a house. When I come back, I realize the pictures you are sending me were not for my house. It was for your own house that you are building for yourself, not the house that you are supposed to build for me.
The agency cost.
Agency cost is double the cost of the house. So what am I saying? I'm saying, let us go simple. We know Kenyans need to build homes, and these homes can be built in certain localities. Why not even prepare a product that in Kisii there are about 100 homes a certain agency is building within Kisii. We build at your home, and you pay us in dollars, and you have your home, and you come back, you find a very nice house. That will spread even in the village.
Well, very good. Yeah. Now let's cross over to politics, and we begin with matters to do with the hygiene of Kenyan politics. Even at your time as a young parliamentarian, we saw layers of you and many other youthful politicians going bare knuckles and literally physical on your opponents whenever you never got to agree. If you look at the recent developments and the public spat between Silvana Sosoro, Simba Arati, Member of Parliament Peter Salasia, and literally putting the lives of the electorate at risk, do you think they are not aware of the fact that it is leaving bad taste in the mouth of the electorate, and that they are literally stooping so low as elected leaders?
You know, when I was first elected, I had the privilege of being poor. I say so. It was a privilege because it humbled me and gave me the capacity to listen to elders, because I respected them regardless of their status. By virtue of being older than me, I listened to them. And one thing they told me, the stick that you carry, because I used to carry this mkwaju, that you are not supposed to hit an individual. As a leader, your hands, that stick is meant to lead people. It is not to direct people to the right path. Sure. The moment you use it now to physically assault somebody, effectively you have lost your blessings in terms of leadership. These young men, I don't think they have gotten that kind of assistance. And I attribute it to the fact that when I was first elected, sure, my salary as a member of parliament had improved from 3,000 as a teacher to 18,000. So my salary, first salary, including all the
perks,
it was 18,000.
It now went sixfold.
Yeah, well, it is now too much. Yeah, now a member of parliament, apart from earning 751, there is this money for the constituency, for the roads. You know, that is where corruption takes place. It's only that the Controller and Auditor General does not have capacity to audit all this. If auditing was done in every constituency today, Richard, all the members of parliament will be in jail. I'm telling you that.
Already in Shimolatewa, they would be there?
All of them, they will be in jail. Why? You find that possibly they give about 100,000 for roads and a special program. And 100 million. And they will do the road from Nyakinywa possibly to Kablamai through Botwa. And they will say they have spent 20 million. And possibly what the contractor spent is about 2 million. 18 million will be shared between the contractor and the member of parliament. So these guys, they are awash with money. And therefore, they they don't see why you are engaging them. A guy who does not have 1 million shillings in his boot. Yeah. If you are to inspect my car, not even 10,000. Perhaps it may be in this phone, but they are in the boot. I don't have even a shilling. So, but these guys are carrying money in the boot. You've been seeing them. All of a sudden, somebody is coming with 5 million when it is Presidential Arambe. Where did this MP get 5 million? Even when I was a minister earning 1 million shillings, I used to run short of money because there was a challenge of people coming from home and wanting to be assisted. Their children are in hospital, they are in school, all those manner of things.
Sure.
Yeah, these MPs not going through the same. Now, the final thing is, they say fish rose from the head. These bad manners has been perpetuated by the regime. The moment you start abusing leaders, even those who are around you, they start abusing their opponents. That the president should be able to call his house in order.
Very well. It is a borrowed vice.
It's a borrowed vice.
Very well.
Yeah.
Advancing that conversation on matters politics, let's cross over to the future of Azimio La Umoja, One Kenya Coalition, which you are a member of. And we've seen principals Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka seem to have a spat which has actually gone public. Kalonzo Musyoka taking concern with Kamwene Leadership Forum being spearheaded by Martha Karua and saying there is no need for it. We should actually consolidate our efforts and build a strong Azimio. On the other hand of Kalonzo Musyoka, he believes his time has come for him to be endorsed as the presidential candidate in 2027. If you look at the direction of Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition, do you think it will survive the curse of coalitions, that it might actually collapse even before 2027 if the recent development is anything to go by?
Well, there is an animal in the sea called hydrant. If you cut it, the portion that moves away will grow and therefore multiply itself. Also, this issue of coalitions, what I know, we may not have it as called Azimio at the end of the day. It may come in another, it might morph into something else. The advice I can give to my colleagues in the opposition is that William Ruto is a formidable candidate. Don't underrate him. Formidable in the sense that he will use all the tricks in the book. Now that he has the advantage of being the incumbent with the associated benefits, is likely to spend a lot of time trying to disorganize us in the opposition. And each one of us should be wary of that. And that's why the other day I told you, even if he called me today, I believe where I am, I'm safer and I'm comfortable. So I want to beseech my colleagues that don't underrate any individual, because the moment you underrate a colleague within the opposition circles, you are effectively destroying the unity of the opposition. And that's the only thing that can remove this regime out of government.
Very well.
Otherwise, if we make a mistake, William Ruto will be the president 2027.
Actually, I thought that as it resonated in the minds of many citizens is that it is high time Raila Odinga pays his debt to Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo has supported him in 3 presidential bids, and that 2027, it is time for Kalonzo Musyoka. From where you sit, Kipruto Arap Kirom, do you believe that Kalonzo is the best candidate in 2027, or his time is yet to come?
Well, the best candidate will be provided by certain processes that will be informed by logic, will be informed by patience and consultation.
Sure.
I remember the formation of NAC, National Rainbow Coalition, took a number of tangents. Initially, those of us in the 3 parties, Fort Kenya, DP, and NPK, which belonged to Charity Ngilu, had started fomenting our own coalition much earlier, like in February 2002. By about June or April, we were taken to court by the late Nginyu Kariuki because we had started by saying National Alliance for Change. It took us to court that he has a similar outfit, and therefore we had to move away from that. Then we moved to National Alliance of Kenya, NAK. By September 18th, 2002, we appointed our presidential candidate, the late Mwai Kibaki. designated Charity Ngilu as the de facto prime minister should we take over power. And the late Wamalwa Kijana was given the position of vice president as per the constitution at that particular time. Our colleagues on the other side, led by Raila, had moved to Kanu. They had initially the cooperation. Then after the cooperation, there had some semblance of cohabitation or coalition, but it was not a full coalition. So when they went to Kasarani, as you know, the late Kamodo said, Kasarani became Kisirani. And therefore they walked out of Kasarani so annoyed with Kanu because they realized President Uhuru Kenyatta was going to be picked as the presidential candidate, overlooking people like the late Saitoti, people like Musalia Mudavadi, who was vice president after Saitoti left, overlooking people like even Katana Ngala, people like Raila Odinga, people like Alonzo Musyoka, people like Mudi Awori. Those people are overlooked in LDP, the wing, LDP Stokano. So they walked away and they came to us and we agreed we form the National Rainbow Coalition, of which we formed a summit of 8 members. I was one of the 8. And we now formed a new outfit of government where Kibaki was to be the president, Wamalwa the vice president number 1, pending amendment of the constitution, Raila prime minister, and Kalonzo vice president upon amendment of the constitution, Saitoti, Charity and I to be respective deputy prime ministers. That was the formation. And all that took a lot of protracted consultations. So my request is, without answering your question directly,
sure,
Kalonzo is fit to be president. Raila is fit to be president. Hygiene is fit. Karua, all those people can run this country. But we need to have some kind of consensus that is arrived upon consultation so that we are able to manage egos. You know, these are not individuals who say, I want to be president and therefore you allow him to be president. There is a community behind him and that community must feel our son or daughter has been respected. Outfits like Amwene, I would be the last politician to condemn it. They know why they are forming it. Because we used to have a feeling like we are looking for a big bus, but each one of us has his own matatu. Some of the matatus with canvas, the other ones, the one you face each other.
Yeah, sure.
All those matatus, they will take us to Kitale. You know, yeah, I'm talking about Kitale because that's where we come from. Then when we get into Kitale, we put them in the parking. We use one big bus to Nairobi. On our way back home, we get there, kila mtu takes his, anachukua yake, anaenda to the village. So even in this political arrangement, these coalitions have not been strong because there is what I call trust deficit in Kenya. We don't trust each other enough. And therefore, I have to cling to my party. Even if I have 5 members of parliament, that's my party. Even if I have 10 MCAs, that's my party. Of course, there is also the other wing that people are finding it useful to have some revenue coming from the political parties fund. Sure. But the most important thing is trust deficit. Kenyans don't trust each other.
Very well.
And that's why there is no government that has formed. There is no party or coalition that has formed a government twice since 2002. It was NAC, PNU, Jubilee loose coalition between URP and TNA, then now Jubilee proper. This time it is UDA Kenya Kwanza. The next one, you know, those are 5 elections.
Already?
Yeah, 5 elections already. So next time is going to be another outfit. You don't know. It may be Kenya Kwanza 3, Kenya Kwanza 2, or it could be Azimio 2 or Azimio 3.
The dynamics of politics.
The dynamics of politics will change.
Very well.
And who tells you the next 1 year will be the same? I'm here today, I may not be here tomorrow.
It is enough to make huge change.
Yeah, a lot of changes. That's why they say one day in politics is like a century.
One day in politics is like a century. Talking matters on how Azimio can actually strengthen its frame and be in the best frame, at least to win the next election. If you look at what propelled William Ruto into presidency and the segment of the society that helped him endear itself to the masses is the church. Do you find it necessary for Azimio to have an urgent appetite to literally go and be in good books with the church, or at least be a darling of the church, so that maybe in 2027 it is the easiest way route to endear itself to the electorate?
You know, in politics, it's always nice to come up with new ideas, because politics hates copycats. Let me go to my church, which is Anglican. You go to your church, but we meet under the framework that this political space should respect all faiths, but at the same time also respect the existence of those who may have alternative thinking. Why am I saying that? My major take is that let us spend time consulting among ourselves. If we don't consult, the next president is William Ruto. I'm telling them now.
If we don't consult, that is, Azimio, the next president is definitely going to be William Ruto. There you have it, from the firebrand himself, Kipruto Arap Kirwal. We actually thank him for always coming to the show and dispensing these nuggets of wisdom that will definitely be of service to this country. Thank you so much for tuning in. We wait to have you on board in our subsequent editions here on Herman Manyora's channel. I'm yours truly, Richard Mwenje. Also remember to watch my other show on economic matters, that is Business Glide. We can't wait to have you on board. Always a pleasure to have you. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.